Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday. Guys, I'm so excited to be here. But I have some terrible news. My external hard drive, hey, hey Shirley, my external hard drive crashed, y'all. I'm just like, when I tell you I'm devastated, we hope we gonna, hopefully they'll be able to fix it. I'm going to do a live later about the importance of your tech stack. Okay. So look out for that one because, yeah, I was not prepared for that. But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about today. Today, we're talking about creating visibility for your business. So, the importance of creating visibility for your business. And this goes way beyond posting on social media, guys. So, we're going to talk about what that is and some tips to increasing your visibility. Shirley says, "No way," and you're smiling, girl. I'm breathing for you. Yeah, listen, I was just like, "What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?" So yeah, it's just I'll keep y'all updated on what happens with that because that was definitely not expected. But anyway, feel free to drop your questions or your comments into the chat, and we can discuss them here live. Or if you're watching the replay, I'll most definitely respond to your comments. Hello, hello. Hey, Tiffany. Hey, Life with Melissa. Hey, Nityan. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing the name correctly. Okay, so one of the most important things to work on, especially in an online business, is going to be your visibility, right? So people can't find you, they cannot do business with you. Okay, so visibility though goes beyond social media. Visibility includes other areas, both inside and outside of your industry, where you should show up. So, your community, online and offline, right? Publications, books, speaking, it's literally everywhere that you could possibly show up. Now, I know you're probably thinking that is impossible, right? And for small business owners, yeah, it's definitely a challenge. But that's why you have to maximize your efforts and your time. Okay. So basically, what's going to give you the most bang for your buck, so to speak? Where can I and will I make the greatest impact consistently so that my name and the name of my business stay at the top of my ideal client's mind? Right. Hello. And it's really important to like think about that, and it's like, and having your name and your business's name mentioned in rooms that you're not even in, right? Rooms and places that you're not even in, that actually takes work, guys, and most people are not willing to put in that type of work. It's not easy, but I wanted to have this discussion today because I want to get you thinking about the reality of business today, right? Which is really what sparked the topic of this live today, is just the reality of business today. So I've kind of been having this conversation back and forth with a few of my business besties. And we were talking about really the importance of having a website. And all the business OGs out there, like, yep, gotta have a website. And then there's some folks who are younger than us that are like, I don't think you need it. And so we've just been going back and forth. But I will say, if you're an 80s baby and up, maybe you remember when websites were first becoming a thing, right? It wasn't as prevalent as it is today, right? Like, do y'all remember dial-up internet? Dial-up internet. Like, you actually had to call the internet, right? And it made that weird noise when it was connecting. Or how about encyclopedias, right? Encyclopedias were our Google back then, right? So one of my friend's sons, he is 10. He's 10. He was like, "What's an encyclopedia?" And I was like, "Man, oh, I'm so old." But then I'm like, no, wait, I'm actually not that old. Technology is just moving at a really rapid pace, so much faster than when, I was growing up, or probably most people who are listening to me right now were growing up, right? So when we think about, and you're probably like, what does this have to do with business visibility? So when you think about like your business, right, and you think about visibility, There were million and billion dollar businesses back then with no website, right? The landscape of business was different back then. And you had to be in certain circles, certain conferences, masterminds to even have access to the information that we have access to today, right? Um, the bare minimum, I would say probably the bare minimum back then was probably an LLC and a business bank account and maybe a mailing address, right? Now, the landscape of business has changed, and what we would consider to be the bare minimum is different, right? So, hear me out. The bare minimum business name, LLC, bank account from old days of old, website, social media handles. That is now the bare minimum. And so, when people complain about not getting clients and people not signing up for their offers, they have all the things, right? But you have to realize that's the minimum, right? That's actually the minimum. Posting on social media has literally become the minimum when it comes to visibility. So you have to think, what happens to people who consistently do the bare minimum? They get minimum results, right? So now I'm not going to say there's not these wild success stories out here. People who they make all this money with a cell phone and social media handles, right? But those types of stories are very few and far between, right? So you have to think to yourself, if you want your business to stand out, what do I need to do to be as visible as possible? No, the answer is not to be everywhere, right? We talked about that earlier. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense, actually. But what you do need to consider is being as visible as possible where your ideal clients are and make it a point to show up there often, right? So you will only be able to do this if you truly know who they are and where they are. Because if you show up where they are, you automatically increase your visibility because you show up all the time where they frequent. Okay, and it's kind of like if you like Google red stilettos, right? And then so you Google red stilettos, and then like when you're going on the internet, red stilettos literally are following you everywhere. Like there's red stilettos on Amazon, red stilettos on Google again, Facebook, everywhere, right? You want to be those red stilettos, or pick whatever whatever product you're looking for, right? So, what are some ways for coaches and consultants to increase their visibility? So I have 5 ways. It's not an exhaustive list, guys. It's just 5 I think that would really help. Hey guys, thanks for joining. So number 1, make sure you're doing the bare minimum. Website, social media handles, right? Can people find you? Bare minimum. Number 2, make it your business to show up where your ideal client is. Networking, conferences, summits, speaking engagements, right? Number 3, take up space in your industry. Create a community in the space of your own where people can get to know you, learn from you. Seeing you is not enough. That is the bare minimum. Okay. So, like just seeing you, seeing your content, bare minimum. We see a lot of things and a lot of people. We tend to ignore it because it looks the same, right? So that brings us my next point of finding ways to stand out. Be a disruptor. Have a different point of view. Share your opinion, especially in the coaching and the consulting space, right? There's tens of thousands of coaches and consultants out there, right? But not everybody does business the same way. So how are you different, right? Especially in your niche. Number 5 is actually add value. Like, don't just say stuff because you know you need to say something, okay? Right? What you're saying actually providing value, like valuable insight or information to your clients? Not valuable to you, valuable to your ideal clients. Stay client focused. Okay. So those are 5 ways. You guys have any questions? Any questions at all about that? So I'll go through them really quickly again. The first is you got to make sure you're doing the bare minimum. You want to be more visible. Do you have a website? Do you have social media handles? Like, are you actually present out in the interwebs? Like, do you have a presence there? Number 2, make it your business to show up where your ideal clients are hanging out. And for coaches and consultants, this is networking, this is conference summits, Facebook groups, social media, wherever your ideal clients are, right? Number 3, take up space in your industry. Create a space where people can come and learn from you, learn more about you, right? And not just see your picture, like you doing selfies and on the beach, things like that on Instagram. That's not helpful. That's not helping them solve their problem. I know that you see a lot of the big brand name coaches and consultants doing it, but that's because they've already built their following, already built their community, right? So you have to stand out amongst the sea of coaches and consultants, which is number 4, find ways to stand out. Be a disruptor, share your point of view, share your opinion. I go against the grain all the time, y'all. I'm like, I know people probably, like when you hear me say, I know people probably don't agree with me, it's because I know people probably don't agree with me, but I'm going to share my opinion anyway, because I have a unique point of view to share based upon my experiences and how I've gone through my entrepreneurship journey thus far. And number 5, actually add value. I can't stress this enough. Okay. Do not be, Google Academy or YouTube University for your clients, right? They don't need you to repeat stuff back to them. That's not actually why they're going to be signing up for your coaching program or your consulting offer. Like, it's not. They want someone to take them through a transformation, point A to point B. Okay. So actually provide value when you do have the attention of your ideal clients. So where every business is going to be showing up and how they show up is going to look different, right? So you can't copy your neighbor. Can't copy your neighbor. That's why if you're spinning your wheels trying to figure out why it's not working, because you're copying this really successful person in your industry, right? It seems to work well for them. The keyword is them. The keyword is them and not you, right? You can continue to implement strategies, but if you don't have an understanding of how it applies to your business specifically, then you're going to have difficulty with implementing it. It doesn't matter how dedicated you are to your business at that point. And I hope I'm making sense. You can be really dedicated and really working on your business, but if you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what you're doing. Okay? No amount of dedication will change that unless you actually get the help that you need. Okay? I just want to make that clear. Like, trying to emulate someone else's strategies, right? Because it seems to be working for them. The key word is them, not you. Okay. So you have to know how to implement strategies specifically for your business to make it work, right? Not saying the concept overall, isn't successful. That's why, like, you see people say this strategy didn't work for me, right? Or this thing doesn't work. Well, it probably didn't work because you didn't know how to apply it specifically to your business. That's probably why the strategy works, right? It works for somebody. Otherwise, people wouldn't be doing it, right? But you ultimately have to go or go and do what's going to be best for you, what's going to work best for your business, right? And not other people's businesses. So if you don't know what that is or what that looks like for you, this is what I do with my clients inside the Brand Builder Blueprint, right? That's where that comes into play. So if you're ready to learn more about how your coaching or consulting business can become more visible, where you can get more clients, be more profitable, and create multiple streams of income, you can click the link in my bio. If you're watching me on Instagram, if you're watching me on Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn, you can click the link in the description of this live and apply for the Brand Builder Blueprint. So guys, let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to just go through the comments really quickly. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Any questions at all? Questions or comments, guys? Thank you guys for joining me today. I appreciate you. All right, I'm not seeing anything. I'm going to go and check on my poor hard drive. Hopefully it's fixed. Oh my gosh, y'all. I'm telling you, a live about Tech Stack is coming because that's really important. I talk about systems here and there, but I think I'm going to do a real deep dive into Tech Stack because I'm telling you, once it goes, it goes. It goes. Oh gosh. Oh, Shirley says, thank you for confirmation about being disruptive. Absolutely. Listen, I'm telling you, it's like, so maybe, okay, once again, am I dating myself? Y'all seen Edward Scissorhands, the movie? I don't know. I'm a big Tim Burton fan. right? So if you've ever seen the movie Edward Scissorhands, if you haven't seen it, just look it up. But like the movie where he goes into the neighborhood, like the family finds him, all the houses are like these bright colored houses. They all look the same. Like it's like, you know, pinks and purples and greens and right. And then like there's like the house at the top of the hill is like this like castle looking black scary place. That place, even though it's scary, it stands out, right? So not to say you should be that way, but that was just an example of like how you should stand out in your industry as a coach or consultant, right? Let's just say all the houses are blue and then you're the red house. That might be a better analogy. Um yeah, so you want to do something or have a point of view or have a program or something that's going to make you stand out in your industry and make folks gravitate towards you, because ultimately people are saying a lot of the same things, and to really get people's attention you got to say something different. You got to say it in a different way. You got to show them a different path. You can't just do what everybody else does just because they do it. How do you know it's right? Like, I don't know. I have like a lot of old vintage sayings. I'm really an old soul at heart. So if y'all are like, what is she talking about? How does she know this? It's because I'm an old soul. But like, the saying, if everybody's jumping off of a bridge, are you gonna jump too? I'm not. I'm gonna look for another way down just because everybody's jumping off the bridge, right? So I think you gotta take that to heart in your business, and you just can't just do what everybody else is doing just because you understand why. Like, why are people jumping off the bridge? I would want to know that before I decided to jump, right? So anyway, um, any other questions, guys? Anything at all about being more visible in your business as a coach or consultant? Anything. Remember, the bare minimum is website and social media. So if you're doing the bare minimum and you're wondering why things aren't going the way that you hope they would go, it's because you're literally doing the bare minimum. So not to say you got to be on there like 24/7 and posting like 3, 5, 10 times a day. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying be aware that that's the bare minimum. And so what are you going to do besides that, right? Because that's literally just like you're claiming your piece of virtual real estate. That's really all it is. So you got to figure out how you can bring people to you and start building your community. And that's what we do inside the Brand Builder Blueprint, is help you do that, right? Because you don't want to be like all the other coaches and consultants out there. You want to be you. And that's really, really important. You want to be you. Okay? All right. Well, if you guys have any questions or any comments, as always, feel free to reach out to me. If you are watching me on Facebook or YouTube, I'm at iSimplyShe. On LinkedIn, I'm at Crystal Renee, and on Instagram, I'm at I_simply_she. We have another comment. Shirley says, you always drop simple, user-friendly gems that we forget. Appreciate you. I usually miss your live. Perfect timing today. Oh, thank you so much. Well, thank you for joining. I'm glad you were able to catch me today. All right, y'all. Well, that's it. Pray for my computer. And I will see you guys next time. All right. Take care. Have a great rest of your day.